Hi, it's Xavier, and welcome to my Tony's Legacy Trees special. Right now, it's right at the back end of September, and I'm just about to put Tony's pine into some decent soil. Really good free draining pumice, lava rock, zeolite, all sorts of lights, and a bit of pine bark as well. Anyway, either way, we want to get it out of whatever this is and bed itself in nicely for its Christmas break. Hopefully by now I've received loads of stuff from everyone else who had Tony's trees, and they're all going to feature in and out as we go through this clip. But first of all, let's have a look at this pine, shall we? Now, clearly I wired this one up some time ago, and I remember you looked at the video. I know there's a couple of you who didn't like the wiring. The main purpose is to get all those dangly branches which hadn't yet got fixed in position upright, so all the candles would be pointing upwards and therefore getting maximum light and energy to try and feed this tree and keep this tree healthy. Now, rather than pull it out, what I want to do is just slip. For those of you saying, did you need to repot it? I mean, this is actually not bad soil, to be honest. The answer is no, I could probably have left it a lot longer. But I haven't seen this tree, I haven't seen what Tony did to it, and I want to know if there's things that I need to be rectifying. The key thing with any pine, or any tree for that matter, is building a strong root base. I just want to see what all this stuff is, to be honest. See, some of these roots are just breaking, which suggests rot. We've got loads of stuff. Well, we've got this down here, but that's absolutely no good for creating our tree. Close in, we've got these dead bits in here, and there isn't actually a lot of close in root structure. So remove a reasonable amount. I'm almost going to treat it like it's Yamadori in its first year, which is always tough because all the energy the tree had when it's in the ground is used in those first couple of years when you transplant it, and it's all in the trunk and that, so that's where you can get all that extra energy and growth from. Where you've already got a tree that's already in a pot, that energy just isn't there, that reserve isn't there, so it can often be a fatal thing. None of this is any good to me. I've got some lower stuff here. I haven't got loads of needle growth. It's not in the healthiest of condition then for re-establishing roots, but it's very off brown look in there. It doesn't have that healthy shiny look, so I'm just going to cut all these back. It's a tough one. Am I disappointed? Yeah, of course I am. And I think this is sometimes the issue we have, and I'm finding it with a lot of the trees that I putted up a few years ago in a more organic mix, that the root development is either small, non-existent, or, well, you know where I'm going with this. I've got to be careful not to take too much root away. I've had to keep some of these round roots. I don't want it going round like this, but until this stuff closer in starts developing more roots, I just don't want to take a chance in removing stuff that potentially is going to be needed. So we're going to get it in here, and hopefully it will fit nicely in this. It probably could be a bit small actually. I mean, that could be an interesting feature. What roots are there, you really want to give them the best opportunity. Not the white ones, they're weeds. I'm just trying to sort my tie down so that I don't actually have them on the wrong side. The issue we often face with a lot of our trees, especially I find with junipers and pines, well actually lots of stuff, deciduous, is that you see lots of growth, or you think it's lots of growth, and you just assume the root structure's good. And if you haven't ever looked at it, then you're never going to know the truth until sometimes it might be too late. Okay, well, it's into its drum pot. I'm not going to have a look at anything in there. I've got what roots there were in there covered. Wire I'm going to leave for now. Do I think it's got a chance? Of course I do. I think deep down here I think I know it's going to be fine. It's got needles, It's got new candles, so I'm hoping that in the spring, when it starts pushing out, I'm just gonna let it go. There'll be no pruning at all next year. It's just going to be allowed to go, and just go, and then that's what's going to drive root production. Best move on to something else, and I have no idea what that is.
There's nothing wrong with your computer volume. That's right, I didn't switch the microphone on. I didn't charge the microphone actually. There is a moment in a minute where you realise, classic. Oh, here we go, more on. As you can see, the base of this, the moss, is absolutely nuts. It's really thick, and I can tell that there's a load of roots in there as before. Nothing's really changed with this tree. As I say, I haven't touched it. I thought for a little while it was struggling. A lot of the foliage started to change colour a little bit. I had some dropping off, but it is coming through. The oak tree, however, I did see some growth on it, but after taking advice, I did do a partial defoliation. Now that, unfortunately, really didn't help the tree at all. I don't think it had the health that it needed. There, as you see, there's a few nice green leaves, and there's some powder mildew there, which I've been treating this tree for. It's struggling. This tree is not healthy as I would hope. It's very leggy. As you can see from some of these leaves, it's not in the best of condition. You can see where I trimmed some of the leaves down for the defoliation, but they just didn't seem to grow back. In the sort of springtime, I'm going to do a big trunk chop on this, get it right down, put it in a repot, get it in some nice draining soil, and fertilise it well. This is just to show that my trees have been absolutely beaten up by birds this year. They've just been flicking soil everywhere. Look at the state of these benches. And to end, there's just a couple of photos of the Tony's trees. That's the fir and also the oak. Any tips? Hit me up.
Well, next in the updates is Tony's Hawthorn, which has obviously had the vet tape all over it. And I've decided we're going to take the vet tape off. Very hard to sort of see this properly. This is the sort of angle we're looking at. These branches have been wired out, and I wired them out earlier in the year in an earlier video. This one, I'm not sure what to do. I may actually just put some wire on this, do some wiggly stuff with it. But first of all, I'm going to get the vet tape off, and let's see how it looks. And the main reason for taking the vet tape off is because I don't really want it to go through a winter where it can get all mouldy and stuff, and to be fair, it should have done the job by now. There it comes. Ta-da. Now remember, in fact, let's go back and see what exactly he did again while I'm unwrapping it.
Exciting for you today. I'm going to be working on this hawthorn, but there's a twist. I'm going to be trying a technique that I've never tried before, and I've seen very few people even trying themselves. Going pretty straight, if I do say so myself. That's the add wire, but I'm not going to add wire. I want to hopefully get some bend into this, and once I can work out how far the bend is, I want to hold it with a guy wire to the edge of the pot.
I remember when he did it, I thought, I'm not sure what the eventual aim or achievement was. I think it was just an experiment in radical bending. I think the issue we're going to have here is we're always going to know this is Tony's hawthorn. I mean, the bend's there, and this is all going to heal over. We're going to have these interesting lines going up and down, I suppose, forever. It is interesting how those lines are. I think he snapped it somewhere around here. That's where he put the screwdriver and the chisel in, I think. Definitely a deeper gouge there. So, I mean, looking here, the branches are wide out. The branches, I don't think we've got any... See anything. The place you've got to look for branches for wire scar is right here in these junctions, and it's easy to lose track. And suddenly you find it has got a scar, but no, we'll leave that. So we've got the bit of wire. I mean, this is, we're going to be losing some of these branches anyway, but let's have a look and see what we can do with this. Oh, Let's go bend in. In true Tony style. Okay, well, vet tape off, some bit of wire on there, lots of fun. Hopefully that's just the sort of thing Tony would have done. Absolutely no idea where we're going with this, but let's just keep this project going and who knows. But as far as the Tony Legacy trees, I think we've had 3 today, and I don't want this to stretch on much beyond 12 minutes, so sorry, we're going to have to go for a part 2 to see some more. I think Jason Hanrahan of the Bonsai Garden, he's got an update coming up, and hopefully Alex Braunton, he might have some updates of what he's done. And I've definitely got a few more trees to show from Tony's legacy. So I hope you've all enjoyed that. You know, Tony was the centre of this bonsai community, certainly in the UK, and I definitely intend to continue to keep it going. So if you've enjoyed this, big thumbs up. In fact, big thumbs up for Tony and his family. God rest his soul. And if you haven't subscribed, then please subscribe. All the best. Happy bonsai and God bless. Cheers.